here. This is gonna be a review of me just completing Ranking of Kings. So I wanted to give my thoughts a bit about what I thought of the show overall after completing all 23 episodes. As you could see, I did not react to the final episodes because I felt that I wanted to watch it on my own time after a while, actually. Um, but I still wanted to make a final review now that I'm finished with the show, and you know, my review is really gonna be that I'm talking a bit of the show as much as I remember of it as a whole, of all 23 episodes. So from there, I'm gonna, give my thoughts and also give my thoughts about the ending. And then I'm gonna give you guys what I rated from 1 to 10. So to begin with, this show had two cores of 23 episodes, I think. And if we're gonna look at what I thought about the show for all the 23 episodes together, I do think it was a good show. The animation was great. That's something that doesn't surprise me because it's with Studio. I think the story had a direction, and when a story has a direction, that's when a story is good, in my opinion. So I'm very pleased with the direction of the story. The story had a goal to make. I forgot to say also that these contain spoilers, so do not watch this video if you have not watched all of Ranking of Kings. But anyway, yeah, the story had a direction. The goal for the story was really, for Bodji to become king. And his journey to become king in 23 episodes, and because that story had that direction, and the author wanted to know where to go from here. That's a big plus too, because I do think the direction of the story was well done too. So that's great. We also got to see Bodji really encounter some interesting people. So, on his journey. So I think overall, what I liked about this show was his journey to see new people, and, to help him get to where he eventually became, to become a king. So that is also a big plus for this show. Um, Now, because this review is not only going to be about the good things, I'm also going to talk a little bit about the things that I was less pleased about, because this is a whole review. So, not any anime really can be free from criticism. I think that's not possible. So, but this is, I just want to make things clear. This is not me roasting the show, not at all. Overall, I think it was a good show, but I still want to point out the good things and the bad things to make my whole review of it. So, but as I said, I didn't dislike the show. I liked the show, but I still wanted to point out the things that maybe ticked me off a bit about the show. But anyway, one of the things is that when we have a show of two cores, I do think that some episodes, and I don't think this is unusual for this show. I think this could be probably in all two core shows, that some episodes might be slower than others, and I think that's normal. So I think but that's not. I don't think that's only for Ranking of Kings. I think that's overall for two core shows. That some episodes were, I think, in the middle of the second core. I do think some shows were maybe a little bit slower, and I think that was the reason I stopped reacting, actually, because after that, because of those episodes, I kind of lost the motivation to keep reacting, which is ironic because as soon as I stopped, that's when the show went up to quality again. From the episode when he started to fight against King Bosse. That's when the show really picked itself up again, and suddenly we had the show has always had great animation, but it just reached top class animation off from that situation. So that was good. It was nice to see that it picks itself up again. Um, Another thing that I do think that I didn't like very much was the ending, the last two episodes, story wise. That would be the first thing would be Daida and his I guess he he got Stockholm syndrome. You know, Miranjo locking him up, doing all these evil things, but he decides to marry her. But I guess a reason for that could also be because he was stuck with Miranjo's real self in that dark place. So he got to understand her more, maybe. So maybe that's how everything happened. That's why he was more able to forgive. It was a little bit harder for everyone else, but they eventually accepted it. So I do think one of the reasons that he decided to marry her eventually was because he understood her better than the rest. So I guess that makes sense if we look at it that way. But still, if we think of it logically, you know, to me, if we think it logically, he decides to marry the girl who kidnaps him and and everything. Um, and also the absolute ending of the show. That's actually, I think, the ending of this show was another thing that made me maybe made the show drop in ranking, for me at least, when when Kage decided, I don't need to be around Boji anymore. He doesn't need me anymore, so I'm gonna leave. First of all, he should know that everyone has accepted Kage, and especially Boji. So to me, it doesn't make sense that he suddenly decides to leave just because he becomes king. If he was really that close friend with Boji, he would have understand that he didn't need to leave. I don't know why he was so insecure about that. And also, when Boji tries to find him, because Boji misses his best friend, and I guess he asked the guy who has the snakes. I guess he asked him for help to find Kage, and eventually they did, so that's good. But I don't think Boji needed to leave the castle. He didn't need to stop being king just to be with Kage. I think that he just needed to find Kage and maybe ask Kage to be by his side while he's still being the king. That would be it. That would be it, and that would be the perfect ending. There was absolutely no reason for him to stop being king and giving the throne back to Daida. That part doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if there's a continuation in the manga. Maybe maybe this was just the beginning of the manga story. Maybe we will see his journey in the manga as well. Maybe that's why this happened. But for me, as an anime only, to see him just give up the throne just to be with his friend, I get that. I get that. Kage is his best friend. He wants to put Kage first. But I still don't see a reason why he would have to give up his kingdom just when he got it too. He could just ask Boji. Sorry, he could just ask Kage. I need you by my side. Because you're gonna be support for me when I am king. That would be it. That would solve all the issues. But no, he has to leave the castle, go on his own journey, give up the throne. That part didn't make sense to me. And that's why when I watched the final episode, when he found Kage and he said that they went on their own journey, I just couldn't feel the wholesomeness in that ending. I was more thinking like, what? Really? So I do think the ending was kind of off, actually. I was quite unsatisfied with the ending because he didn't have to give up the throne just to be with Kage. There would be other better solutions, really. Um, but overall, as I said, if we're gonna look at the show for 23 episodes overall, it was a good show. It was a good show. It was one of the better shows these two seasons. But my rate from 1 to 10 for this show is a 7. It's because sometimes I did feel the story was kind of slow, and the ending kind of didn't help with my thoughts, unfortunately. But still, I did like the show as a whole. So and I do think a 7 is still quite high. So it's not like I really disliked the show or anything. Like overall, I didn't dislike the show. It was still good. As I said, it was those parts that made it lose some points for me. But overall, it was a good show. It was an interesting show. It was nice to see Boji's journey to where he eventually became. So yeah, that's my final review actually of this show. I do think that in the future, maybe shows that I'm not reacting to, that I might do some reviews when the show is over here on YouTube as well, because most of what I'm doing on this channel is reactions, but I am considering doing both reactions and review, to kind of have a mix of it. But anyway, that's all I can say for now. So I want to know your or your final opinion of this show. So please leave a comment in the comment section, and I wish you all a good day.